welcome into South Florida Daily and TGIF. I'm Megan Hayes.
And I'm Kate Monahan. We have all you need to know to make your weekend plans coming up on today's show. Let's get into it. Trying to find some zen? Frank Lucari takes in the natural beauty of the Murakami Museum and Japanese gardens. The temperature is starting to rise, and that means it's time to head to the water park. Frank Lucari checks out Rapids Water Park in Riviera Beach.
But he's not the only one checking out Rapids this spring. Kate and I got to try out the newest water slide, or should we say dueling coaster.
Absolutely, it's a better name for it.
It's called Mega Mayhem.
South Florida Daily is on the move with Palm Tran. Here we go.
I started working here when I was 15 years old, when Old Yeller, the original water slides, were built in 1979. And now here I am looking at a hill that used to be a man-made hill with this mega thrilling ride behind us. Very, very, very exciting for the Rapids.
Behind me we have Mega Mayhem, which is the most exciting new attraction here at the Rapids in our 45-year history. It is a dueling water coaster and is the first of its kind in Florida. You'll race side by side through 3 uphill blast zones, around light effect indoor corners and exciting open bowls where you see the sky as you go zooming by, up to 22 miles an hour, and you can race your friends to the finish.
The Mega Mayhem is the biggest single investment and new attraction Premier Parks has ever put into a water park. We're very excited to launch this ride and transform this park into the thrill capital of South Florida. This ride has it all. It's a ride that you'll want to do again and again because you're racing each other and every ride is a different experience. And you're not going to believe how it feels to be blasted uphill through a water roller coaster. Who does that?
Rapids is open for the summer. We have a lot coming up with Mega Mayhem's grand opening, new events all summer long, and DJ party nights, adults only, as well as our first family-friendly foam party after hours. So there's going to be a lot of fun at Rapids this summer. You can come spend the day and even stay for some of those evening events. I think families can really come enjoy the whole day here. You can come, you can ride the more than 40 different attractions in the park, you can have lunch, you can relax in the afternoon, chill with a dive-in movie, go back on the slides again and again. And the best way to do that is with a season pass. And you can do that for just a little more than a one-day admission. You can come back all season. Season passes are on sale. They're $109.95 right now, which is 45% off. And that is less than the cost of 2 days admission for the whole season. You get in all summer long and you get free parking, and you'll be some of the first to ride Mega Mayhem.
You know, Mega Mayhem's not just a huge attraction for for the Rapids Water Park, but also the city of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, and all of South Florida, and for the millions of tourists that visit South Florida every year.
That was so fun! Oh my God, I want to go again! Oh my God, I'm shaking! That was so fun!
I am soaking wet, right?
Yeah,
I just got finished, what was I doing?
Flow Rider.
Flow Rider, which was not easy. And then you put me on some, what was that thing that I
Big
just...
Thunder.
That was amazing.
Which is one of our most popular rides.
It should be. What's enticing me to come to the Rapids Water Park? What's your big draw?
We're over 30 acres with 42 slides and rides.
30 acres.
Over 30 acres. We are the largest water park in South Florida until you get to the Orlando area.
Until you get to those guys.
Those guys.
Yeah. How has it evolved over the years?
It opened in 1979 with just the 4 flumes, Old Yeller. So people would pay by the hour to ride the mat down those flumes. So it was in 1992 that we started with our first expansion, and we have continued to grow and grow and grow ever since.
I noticed there's a couple of, there's a lot of art around the park. Tell me about the mural.
We unveiled art this year. It's a new thing that we did in regards to arts in schools. So our goal is to fill all the panels, have a new panel each year, and have all of them full with artwork.
Believe it or not, this building was built by hand by a group of friends. In 1967, they got together and formed a social club for locals of German heritage to help preserve their old world traditions. Flash forward over 50 years, and I am ready to don some lederhosen and get my polka on.
You look great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Tell me about the German American club here that we're in.
Sure. It started out a group of 3 guys who would bring their family to this field, play soccer, have a picnic. So they're German descent, so they called it the American German Club, and they built this clubhouse in 1975.
Incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
That's an incredible history.
It's great.
This is like I mean, you've got grounds here.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a fairground.
Yeah, it's many acres. I think it's 8 acres, something like
Talk to me about the program. Like, what do you guys do? I mean, you're not just gathering together to, you know.
To schlunkel and drink a few beers?
Yeah, you're doing more than that. So, yeah.
Well, in addition to being a social club, obviously we're a cultural club as well. So we have many events that are culturally based. We have Fasching, which is like Carnival. Obviously, the big one would be Oktoberfest. But we also have a Weihnachts market or a Christkindl market.
Okay.
And we have something called Krampusnacht. Currently we have about 330 members of all ages. It's a fully volunteer organization. So when we have our Oktoberfest, 30,000 people, it's all volunteers, making the food, selling the beer, all volunteers. The goal here is you don't have to be German or even of German heritage to join our club.
Sure.
All you have to do is have a true interest in helping out as a volunteer, but also interest in German culture, German food, German drink is always good too.
That's usually what brings people together, the
Right.
food and the drink, right?
They call it Gemütlichkeit in German. Gemütlichkeit,
Which is?
It's that warm feeling you get when you're sitting down with somebody having a beer, that friendship that you build. It's kind of like fellowshipping, I guess is what you call
how
it.
I feel right now with you, wearing what I'm wearing, I'm gemütlichkeiten.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much.
According to a recent study, older adults are seeing more medical specialists than ever before, and they're twice as likely to see a specialist when compared to their primary care physician. To talk about this today is a family medicine specialist with WellMed and Optum, Dr. Audrey Beria. Dr. Beria, thanks for joining us today. Tell me, is this a problem that people are seeing all of these specialists instead of their primary care physician?
Megan, it's not a problem so much as that they need to coordinate this with their primary care doctor. And what I mean by that is, if your primary care doctor doesn't know that you're seeing a specialist, there's no way that they will have the communication that's needed amongst the specialist and the primary care. Let me give you an example of a situation that had occurred to me. There was a patient that had taken it upon themselves to see a specialist, unbeknownst to me. And the specialist and I both prescribed the same medication to this patient. So the patient was taking double the dose of this medication that they were prescribed. And that is not good quality of care because there was no coordination.
What are some of the common mistakes that people make when they're choosing a medical specialist?
So one of the most common mistakes that patients make is discussing it with their friends and family as to whom they're seeing as their specialist without discussing it with their primary care physician. And that, in essence, can set them up to wind up going to see somebody that doesn't accept their insurance or even knows the primary care doctor. So then there would be a lack of communication and a lack of coordination of care. And us at WellMed and Optum, this is something that we pride ourselves on.
When do you recommend someone see a specialist?
Anytime there's a chronic condition or a new diagnosis is the perfect opportunity for the patient and the primary care doctor to have this discussion as to if they should see a specialist and which specialist they should see. Let me give you an example of an occurrence that just recently happened. I had seen a patient and had done an EKG on them, and I was concerned about the findings. I called up the cardiologist that I normally send my patients to and explained the situation, and he was able to see the patient the next day. He had sensed my urgency with the case that I presented him, and he even called me while the patient was still in the office the next day, and we came up with a beneficial treatment plan that the patient could follow and that I could follow up with the patient.
Communication across the board, so vital for making sure that the patient is getting the right quality of care.
Absolutely.
Where can people go for more information if they want to learn more about this?
Carewithresults.com is a great resource and has all of the topics that we discussed today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Barrios. Such helpful information for our viewers. We so appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
The South Florida Daily Set is sponsored by El Dorado Furniture. Welcome back into South Florida Daily. Are you looking for some peace and tranquility? We know just the place.
We're going on the town to Delray Beach. It's time to look at Murakami Museum and Japanese gardens.
South Florida Daily is on the move with Palm Tran.
Japanese workers settled the Yamato colony in the Boca del Rey area over 100 years ago. As growing pineapples became all the rage, some of those lands became the Murakami Museum and Japanese gardens we know today.
We're learning about an exhibit featuring 9 Japanese artists taking ancient traditions in new directions.
Right now, we are in Washi Transformed, and it features 9 contemporary artists who all use washi, which is Japanese-style handmade papers.
What's the difference between the handmade paper and a regular piece of...
Yes, the difference is that washi paper is all natural. It comes from 3 different plants.
Gotcha.
They harvest it, and then they'll steam it, and it takes hours. And then once it's done, they will peel off the outer bark and scrape the fibers that they want to create the paper.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's involved. God, I wish I had dedication for anything. How far back do we go in the tradition of this?
Thousands of years. It came from China to Korea and then was brought to Japan, and it's still being made in the same way.
It's surprisingly strong.
Yes,
That's
isn't
incredible.
it?
It's just as much as your imagination will allow, right? Like there's no
Absolutely,
limits to
limit.
any.
You think paper is a simple flat thing, but no.
Right, yeah.
Now this piece has 20 separate panels by Yoshida Ayami. And you'll see she has dyed indigo paper. And then the black streaks are printed. And down below she has some small holes, natural openings, to create the splashback effect of the rain.
Yeah.
And as you walk around, some of these panels will move just a bit, and that really gives this dynamic feeling.
You must get people from all over the world that come.
We do, and that's one of the things I really like about it here. We have an opportunity to introduce a lot of people to Japanese culture.
This place is one of the most peaceful, serene places I've ever walked into. And you get to work here all day.
Yes, it is really lovely. We're a Japanese garden.
Right.
And so the idea is to just come out and be relaxed, be surrounded by nature, and just enjoy it.
People all over the world have been drinking tea for thousands of centuries for the health benefits. And that's what led a local doctor to leave her job in medicine to become an entrepreneur selling tea from across the world.
I want to share the most amazing tea, very healthy tea. Our lifestyle is all way to go, due day, but here, that's it. Let you relax. Let time go slower.
What I need. I need
Yes.
that relaxation, Gia.
Yes, we all
I
need
need to
that.
just chill out.
You know, each day, just brewing a cup of tea and can help our physical health and mental health. So for this tea cake,
Right.
it has been fermented over a decade. This one is from 2005.
Whoa.
For this type of tea, they're already very flavorful and there's no bitterness, no harsh when you drink that.
Right.
It's very mellow, smooth, bring a little sweet to you.
Not bitter,
Yeah.
not harsh,
Yeah.
mellow and smooth.
Yes.
Sounds like you.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're embodying the tea.
Thank you. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, embody the tea, use it.
It hasn't been compressed like tea cake. They have been sleeping
Oh, I
for a long time.
Right.
And
So
we
the
want
teeth
sleeping.
wrapped up just,
Yes.
and then you go, oh, gotta wake it up.
Yes,
And
need
you
to wake
take
it
a little
up.
piece and then
Yeah.
we pour hot water all over it.
Yes.
What a wonderful way to wake up.
Smell the aroma around. And sometimes you can feel the steam, you know, if you put the cup under your chin.
Yeah. Get a little facial.
Yeah, facial like a tea spa,
Oh,
right?
I like that.
And then you slowly take 3 sips to
3,
taste it.
specifically 3?
Yeah, enjoy.
Thank you. Yeah, I get
It's
it.
very mellow.
Oh, I get it. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And also, after you finish the
you're
tea,
done?
smell the cup. They have the honey notes.
Honey notes?
Yes.
I do feel relaxed right now.
Could
But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just feel like,
fall asleep.
just ending the segment just like this.
Welcome back into South Florida Daily. We are going back to Delray Beach to take a look around those Japanese gardens, but this time through a child's perspective.
Here's Gemma Curry with Little Wonders.
Welcome to the Murakami Museum and Japanese Gardens. That includes 200 acres of nonstop beautiful landscapes. Let's go check it out.
We're at the Murakami Museum and Japanese Gardens, right in the heart of the outside of Delray Beach, Florida. And we are on 200 acres, 17 of which are formally manicured. We have 17 distinct period Japanese gardens, and people come here almost as a staycation to really get a taste of Japan. We're completely Japanese authentic. And so when visitors arrive, over the course of the year, there's 2 to 3 changing, rotating exhibitions in our main museum, as well as the 6 distinct period gardens. Our main original Japanese museum is still on our property. In addition, we have our Oki Education Building. We have all the native wildlife that was native to this area from the time of our inception here. We have native Florida bobcat, we have all sorts of wildlife such as the koi in our lakes and the tilapia and all varieties of turtles, and people will spot everything from bunnies to snakes to alligators to otters, so it's a whole wildlife experience. In addition, we have people that come in all sorts of weather, beautiful sunny days like it is right now, to overcast days, to days when it's raining. People enjoy seeing the garden in that type of light. Each weather source is a different form of light on the garden, and people appreciate seeing it in all those different lights as well. The Murakami Museum and Japanese Gardens is truly a little wonder of the Palm Beaches.
So I am the garden curator here at the Murakami Museum and Japanese Gardens, and what that means is I'm responsible for fostering our 16 acres of beautiful Japanese gardens. Japanese gardens historically are a really nice way for people to experience mindfulness and peacefulness and serenity, and I'm responsible for carrying out that vision. As you can see, this is a very highly maintained garden. Things are pruned in a very specific way, but you'll see things like you see here, which is a nice branch pad structure in a cloud layering. This is pretty standard in not only Japanese garden, but also things that people are more familiar with, like bonsai. The difference between that and Japanese gardening is that these are literally in the ground. So although we maintain and control everything, it's man's control over these types of landscapes that really give everybody that feeling of man's presence in the gardens. So we have 6 different historical periods that we go through, beginning with the Shinden Islands and then into our Bamboo Grove, then following through to our Paradise Garden. We have 2 Zen gardens or Karen Sensui gardens that people usually associate Japanese gardens with. We have our Late Rock Garden and our Flat Garden, moving into our modern romantic garden, which is the most contemporary, and then back through to our museum, passing Rocky Point. In the center of our property, we have the Yamato-kan, which is our smaller museum, our original museum. We mostly have people that come here and they're trying to escape their busyness of their daily lives in the concrete jungle, if you will. So especially here in South Florida, we're very busy, we're very developed, and this is kind of that peaceful serenity spot that people will come to get their mind away from the busyness of their regular lives, and you can come here and listen with your eyes and hear with your senses and really just enjoy the quiet, the peacefulness, while maybe hearing a bird in the background or the clacking of the blowing bamboo in the wind, a peaceful waterfall, maybe followed by a slight fragrance of a flower that you're walking by. But that's really the true essence of a the Japanese garden, is taking that moment that you're here to really enjoy that moment to its fullest. Water is very important in Japanese culture, as we can see in some of their cultural practices like tea ceremony and sukubai, or the purification process. So typically a sukubai is outside a home and it looks like a stone basin with a small piece of bamboo where the folks would then roll up their sleeves and wash their hands and purify themselves before entering either the tea house or someone's residence. So in the Japanese garden, the waterfalls are seen in many different ways, but it adds that layer of kind of refreshment, which is seen in many different forms. It can be seen in a waterfall, or maybe in a babbling creek, or even in our Karen Sensui or our dry gardens.
Time for your weekend rundown. Fun events happening in our backyard over the next few days. The 62nd annual Delray Affair returns to Delray Beach this weekend. It's April 13th and 14th along the streets of downtown Delray. It's one of the biggest arts and crafts festivals in the country. It spans 10 city blocks. You'll find a great mixture of fine art, crafts, and funky products from more than 500 vendors. Don't miss live music at the Old School Square Beer Garden stage. The festival runs from 10 to 6 on Friday and Saturday and 10 to 5 on Sunday. Learn more at delrayaffair.com. The most fashionable street party in South Florida is this weekend in West Palm Beach. An evening on Antique Row is Saturday, April 13th along South Dixie Highway. The 21 and up event shines a spotlight on the West Palm Beach Art and Design District. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. and features live entertainment, cocktails, food, shopping, and more. The annual event is a fundraiser for the Historical Society of Palm Beach County. Get your tickets at pbchistory.org. The Cajun Crawfish and Music Festival is back in Jupiter this weekend. The two-day street festival is April 13th and 14th in downtown Abacoa. Admission is $5. Enjoy delicious Cajun food, cooking demonstrations, live music, and more. This festival benefits two local charities, Maddie's Fight Foundation and Little Smiles.